Two. Welcome to Jewish Boy Calls His Mother. I'm your host, Sadia, and this is my mother, Ima. Hey, Ima.
Hey, sweetheart, I want to give a disclaimer that my son is going to ask me a surprise question, so I'm not going to be held totally responsible for anything I say or do.
Ima, you can't just say that and then do whatever you want. That's not how it works.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You can always try. It's fine.
Okay.
All right. What is the sad truth about smart people?
That they make stupid decisions.
Yeah.
And I could get very political about that in view of the some of the events of the past couple months, but we want to keep the program light.
No, you could. I mean, yeah, I guess so. But I would think that also one of the sad truths about smart people is that they are human, and that when they make mistakes, I feel like they feel more affected by it. Because if someone's dumb or someone knows they're not the smartest person in a box, there's kind of a way of saying, oh, it's okay, it's fine. I'm not the smartest guy, whatever, I make mistakes. But like if someone's supposed to be like a very smart person, they make a mistake, the feeling must have been way, way worse.
Yeah, but the beginning of wisdom is realizing what an idiot you truly are.
Yeah, I guess you're right. But I guess it's in a way, it's like you got to accept the stupidity of human nature.
Yeah, we brought this up before one time, like about Ben and Jerry's, going along with the the boycott Israel movement, when so many of their customers were Orthodox Jews that were buying from them. And then I told you, I came a few months later, I came across an article in the business section of New York Post that said, Lever Brothers is very upset that sales of Ben and Jerry's are plummeting. Duh.
Yeah, well, that's just other pretentious baloney that I think is just frustrating, but whatever. It's the way the world right now is going. The other thing I would see with smart.
Question though for you.
Yeah.
Can I know? Thank God for you're an intelligent, person. Intelligent. It's interesting. Like, what exactly is intelligence? That's a good question, because, if I guess an intelligent person is someone who, I think there are different forms of intelligence. There's academic intelligence, which thank God you've been blessed. You and all of my kids, thank God, have been blessed with. None of you were ever diagnosed with any type of serious, learning disabilities or differences. But it's like I've in music, I've had a couple kids, one in particular, that was a special ed child. And one day I thought to myself, this girl worked very, very hard. I mean, she could play the same measure of music over and over and over again. Whereas a kid of, say, normal academic intelligence would say, oh, come on, I'm getting bored. And I thought to myself, nobody can call this child stupid. For her limited capacities, she is working as hard as she possibly can and is so motivated. I thought, the same child, had she been blessed with normal academic intelligence, then, would have been an amazing achiever, would have been unbelievable.
I think
given
society,
how hard she worked in the motivation.
I think society is coming to that, because I agree with you 100%. I find it very frustrating and saddening when people with like that are differently abled get put into a box where it's like, oh, you can't do this because of your mental incapacity, given capabilities and whatnot. And I think people are seeing that change and shift. It's not like a blank statement where everybody can do anything, but you're definitely seeing a higher capacity of people that back in the day they would have been institutionalized, or
Yes.
They would have just been invalids. Now they're very they have function in society.
Yeah, that they get therapy, people work with them, and that's why the mentality of I think there was, God forbid, like Nazi Germany. I don't know if you ever saw, there's a documentary on YouTube.
Mhm.
Very sad, very, very sad, how before they really got underway with the Holocaust, that
Yeah.
around 1938, the Nazi government decided that people or children who were learning disabled or were disabled in any way were a burden on society and therefore should be done away with. And they tricked the parents of these special ed children to turn over their children to what they thought was going to be a special school that was going to help them. And the Nazis, I don't have to tell you, but they,
Yeah. Yeah.
what they did with these kids was really sad. So I thought to myself, and then there was some guy, some big Harvard intellectual years ago who really made a stupid statement that said the same thing, that, disabled, learning disabled children or disabled people are just a burden on society, and said the same thing that, the Nazis did. And I know the Chinese are also famous for doing things like this. I thought to myself, if if you do that, your society is not going to progress. Like if you take these people and you work with them, not only are you going to get to a higher moral level, a more honorable moral level as a society, but you're also going to discover things about the way these people can function. And you're also going to be discovering amazing things about yourself in working with these people. Like
Yeah.
working with the special ed child was a total eye-opener for me about how to work very patiently with someone and meticulously with someone who after a while was capable eventually of, okay, she would never be a concert artist, but she was at least capable of actually being able to read notes of simple songs. I came to the point with her where it occurred to me that she was actually learning ABCs, like very, very simple words. And I realized, hey, if this child can learn simple ABCs, like simple 3-letter words like cat, dog, rat, type of thing, then she is capable of reading very simple notes. And she was, which for her capacity was amazing.
Yeah. It's again, it's the capabilities of teaching special needs has grown exponentially. It's funny because regular education, I think, has been very stagnant, but special needs education has definitely gone leaps and bounds.
That's
Because
very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, regular education, I think what it is that with regular education, you kind of have this weird feeling of, I expect you to do and act the way I did and acted when I was younger, because you're like me and you're fine, and you're capable. But then there's this weird pressure. But with someone with special needs, it's more of like, oh, I understand that you're different and you might have some trouble with the way we do things. So let's change things up to get to where you need to be. It's a different perspective. It's a different understanding. And I think in a weird way, we need to treat regular education like special education. Like really start understanding that just because I seem normal and I'm capable and I'm a normal human being with all, thank God, the wonderful blessings that come to it, there still needs to be this understanding and this better way of doing things. I've seen a lot of stuff from people complaining about the educational system, that's going on today.
But I went through the public school system, and even though I was in advanced placement classes, and I was considered a big achiever for my time, and even in college, advanced placement classes, I felt that the system did not really, I thought there was more that I was capable of doing, and that the system basically was holding me back. Like, for example, I was talking to somebody about the study of foreign languages in our school system. Any other country, any other industrialized nation, the study of foreign languages begins in either 3rd or 4th grade. The child picks in Israel, you have your choice, I think, of either Arabic or French or English. There are some countries where you have your choice of, like different languages, and they start them in 4th or 3rd grade, and they study this language every single day as a regular subject straight till 12th grade.
Wow.
And so when these people graduate high school, they have a very excellent understanding of that language. They're capable of really speaking that language practically fluently. United States, this is crazy. Why 2 years in high school? Come on. Our children are of normal or advanced intelligence, academic intelligence, are capable of so much more. There's no reason we can't start the study of foreign language in 4th grade.
Yeah, probably. You were going to ask me a question about something, and then we got distracted.
Trying to think. We're talking about like intelligent people making stupid mistakes. I think what it is that when you're dealing with a person who's academically capable, or is capable of succeeding, has the capacity to succeed, that when they don't live up to that potential, that's what's so frustrating.
Yeah.
To have the potential for something and not live up to it. That like I noticed as a teacher, that really drove me crazy. To see a kid with potential who was just not trying.
Yeah.
It's just going to go by the wayside.
What's worse is if you're trying and you still don't reach your potential.
This is something, never, wait a second, in the Torah, it says,
Yagati Matsatsi, I know.
If that person is trying and not succeeding, then they need to take a step back and look over their method. It's like when I hit 7th grade, I did, for some reason, when I hit 7th grade, I started slipping academically, and I knew I was capable of a lot more. And I was wondering what was causing me to slip academically. And what was causing me to slip was I was getting scared. I was freezing up on tests. And that happens to a lot of kids. So I went to the guidance counselor's office, and I see in the guidance counselor's office, there's a book on how to study. And I took out the book, and it recommended, if you're the type of person, it addressed the problem, which is quite common of people freezing up on tests. They said, in your particular circumstances, what you have to do is, first of all, you have to overstudy, so that even if you would fall from a 10-foot, even if you would fall from a 100-foot tower, you would still remember the information. And not only that, but they said the best way to study is to, first of all, break your information down to very small facts, very small increments, like the very basic facts that you need to know. Read over the sentence or the piece of the sentence. Read over the little fact that you need to know. Read it over. Say it out loud, then say it out loud again. But the 3rd time, as you're saying it out loud, write it down. And the book explained that there are 3 types of learning, as we all know. There's auditory, there's visual, and there's kinesthetic. Kinesthetic is movement.
Yeah.
So this method covers all 3 learning capacities, so that you've really got it down. It's really imprinted on your brain if you do all 3 steps.
Yeah, I realize I'm more of kinesthetic, where I need to touch it, and also I'm a visual learner, where I need to see it. So if I can see it and I can touch it, then I can comprehend it. I
think the majority of people are visual and kinesthetic learners, which is why television, videos and television is such a fantastic educational tool.
Oh yeah.
And it's becoming so popular.
Well, it's why everyone's seeing, all these kids are on screens nowadays. And I think that's actually in a way, it's a good thing. Obviously, looking at a screen for too long might hurt your eyes, might not, I don't know. I look at screens all the time, but yeah, it's a very efficient medium to get a point across and to get education.
For sure.
I think also when it comes to like kids nowadays, they're having fun learning. Learning is a fun experience. It's not like back in the day where you were forced to do things. It's just like you had to grin and bear it, and you had to just make it happen. Kids are like, oh, I'm having fun. I'm enjoying this. I mean, I remember Tati had this rule that like he wouldn't buy us just plain video games, but he'd buy us educational games. And it was like Jumpstart was like the main one that we had that I used to play all the time.
Refresh my memory. What was Jumpstart?
Jumpstart was a series of educational video games, and it had Jumpstart kindergarten through sixth grade. And judging by
Oh,
each grade I was in, I got, a different, it was a different video game. And I would
now
play it.
you're jolting my memory. Now I remember. Yes, they were good. Something occurred to me also the other day how um, I was watching one of the teachers in the faculty lounge downloading a educational app. And these educational apps, I mean, I've had situations where I was babysitting for a family where the child was sent home in the afternoon because the school authorities felt that he couldn't handle a full day program. So his mother, when I was babysitting in the afternoon, would ask that she was going to put on she was putting him on a tablet with a math program so he wouldn't lose math or reading. He would be ready he was in kindergarten, he'd be ready for grade 1. So I sat down with this child, and he, using this mathematics program, in just a few days, he had gone from kindergarten all the way up to first semester, second grade.
Oh,
He was
wow.
already doing borrowing and subtraction. He was already adding 3-column figures. And I said to his mother, the reason he's acting up in the afternoon is because he's bored. I said, this
Yeah.
kid is brilliant. And she was shocked. Her mouth flew open. She had no idea how smart this kid was.
I mean,
She thought maybe something was wrong with him, but something occurred to me. If the videos and the computer software is doing such a fantastic job of educating our children, what is the use of teacher training? What's the use of having
human
a live teacher
interaction and listening
anymore?
to authority. Human interaction and knowing when to listen to authority. It's the same reason why I speak to Pesci, and she was saying like she doesn't care about schools in the sense where she'd rather homeschool her kids. But the only reason why she doesn't is because in schools you learn how to socialize, and I think that's what it is. You still need human interaction. You can it's like getting faux turkey. You can have all the faux turkey and faux meat all you want. End of the day, you still need, but I think it's really important for social interactions and learning how to listen to authority or not. Because if you're constantly being educated with like games and whatnot, but you never have someone in charge of you telling you what to do, kids need structure, children need structure. So there is an advantage of their ability to educate and ability to, grow, but they still need that authority structure.
But I'm just wondering, like, what's going to be the future, though?
What would the future
of education?
I think the future of education is going to be more interactive. Because I remember in school as a kid, Hebrew education versus English education was a world of difference. And in the Hebrew education, the rabbis really cared about you. You felt the real care about you and care about teaching Torah. And because of that, you felt a love for Torah and you wanted to learn more in a sense, because you wanted to, not just make your teacher happy, but you saw how much happiness you got. And I think with the English education during the daytime, it was more distance, where the teachers were more of like going through the ringer and going through a system, and they were just trying to teach you to get just so you can go ahead and function, and just so you can get out of the pass a grade and you could leave. But when I was in 12th grade, in my Hebrew studies, all we did was Gemara, and we never got a test. But I was very enthusiastic because my teachers knew how to motivate me. The rabbis knew how to motivate us. And I think the future education is going to be the way I learned in Limudei Kodesh, Hebrew studies, where you're going to have more smaller classes, teachers that care more, and that you're going to be self-motivated. That's
So how did your Lamode Kodesh teachers like inspire you? Like what exactly was specifically they do?
well, you have to go all the way back to pre-1A, because in pre-1A and first grade, they teach you the importance of Torah and how the Torah is the essence of life. And that, and you can tell that these teachers really knew that and felt that, and they felt the importance. So you get drilled into that as a youngster about the importance of learning Torah. And you see people around you learning Torah. You see, your older siblings learning Torah. You see your parents learning Torah. You see, random people in shul, they're any waking moment they have, they're learning Torah, which shows how much preciousness it really is. And then you get all the way up to high school and 12th grade. And by 12th grade, you already see the importance because you've seen it, it's drilled into you for the past, 18 years, that it's so internalized, it's hard to break away from. And English education, nobody tells you the importance of English education like that. No one obsesses over it. No one says it's God sent. It's just man-made, whatever. See what you can do. If you can harness the ability to get what you need out of it, then so be it. It's a more of a selfish perspective than Torah is more of like an outpost, kind of. I don't know if I'm making any sense.
I know what you mean. Yeah, but you're basically the English education, the Lamode Kodesh is basically for like, how can I say
Survival. It's survival,
yes,
but like
making
bare
a
bones,
living,
like just barely make it.
right?
Just barely make it.
Being just having the fun, just getting a job and paying your bills and but it's interesting. You hit on something. One time, there was one time when I was living in New York. One of the many times I was sitting in traffic court to fight some parking tickets, which is very easy to do in New York. And I was sitting with some people in the waiting area, and we were just talking. And when this Jewish gentleman, a middle-aged gentleman, found out that I was a Baal Tshuva, he mentioned something to me about, well, don't you think that being an observant Jew takes you, like separates you from the world and from reality? I said, no, just the opposite. I said, being an Orthodox Jew puts me more in touch and with what's going on in the world. It's first of all, I was talking to myself, like, you make a bracha on food. When you make that bracha, it really brings you to the reality of the amazing blessing and what it took, a deeper appreciation of this food that's available to you. And when you study, Torah, when you study especially, the laws of dealing with different life situations, it gives you a deeper appreciation of what's going on in the world and you feel closer to nature and you feel closer to the world.
Yeah, I mean, that's Torah education for you. I feel like it's a brighter, like a wider perspective. And when you see that wider perspective, you see the importance of it. And once you see the importance of it, it's like, do you have to wake up every day and force yourself to breathe? No, you just breathe. It's that part of it. It's so ingrained in you.
Well, I'll tell you something interesting. I'll tell you
okay. One thing, and then we gotta go.
Okay. I remember after my father passed away, I saw my father. I didn't see my mother pass away, but I saw my father pass away. And the next morning when I woke up, I said that modernity with a lot more kavana than I have ever said modernity before in my life.
Oh my gosh. That's awesome. Okay. All right. That was our episode. Thank you so much, Ima. All right.
Have a great Shabbos, honey. Love you.
Love you too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode. You can find us on YouTube and Facebook at Jewish Boy Calls His Mother. I know you would like it, and my mother would too.